What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Another week in wrestling. I can't say that it was good or it was bad. I could just say and promise that we will give it to you 100% raw, uncut. This is For the Love of Wrestling, the Flow Show. You know what it is. Kwency Jones, go, Mac Low, and of course, Brian Andrew. What's going on, guys?
What up?
I see you got your boo in the room with you.
Oh yeah, you know she's.
Oh y'all match. Hold up, is that like a navy blue? You got the navy blue dude. They don't want to smoke though. Oh man, I love it.
Get my ballet on.
Hey, I love it, dude. Hey, no lie, I think that's a lost art. The woman talent with the man valet.
Yeah.
Bruh.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not gonna be no wine connoisseur. I'm gonna be with the smoke for real.
He's like, look, if they want me to do some flippy shit, if it's in the wheelhouse, I might flex, but nah.
I was gonna say, like, you guys don't count Reginald right now. Like, oh, the lost art, they're doing it right now.
like what they say too, like they say he's out right now. Like, did he have a match or something? I don't like, honestly, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's probably it. No lie. Like, but for reals, anytime him to me, not to me, I'm sorry, Nia or Shayna are on my TV, it's an immediate skip. It's an automatic skip for me. I can't.
You could be watching it and your brain just shuts it off. Like, you don't, like you're not even comprehending what's going on.
Because I'm like, yo, y'all keep fighting the same ass people. Like, I'm over it. But you know what? I guess we got to start the episode off controversial, right? New releases from NXT. Apparently, there's supposedly more coming, but that's what they like to say so that people feel like it's not like a singled out type of situation. But there were some notable names on there. I was shocked to see that. I mean, Alexander Wolf got kind of thrown in there, but I guess he's not released. He's just I think his contract expires in July. But yeah, he's choosing not to resign.
Yeah, because he got sent off.
Yeah.
And
see, the worst thing about that is they made everyone believe that they might try to put back together Sanity, which I'm like, yo, it gives them something to do, but please, for the grace of God, do not let Drake Maverick try to play cosplay like he did with the AOP. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to see him being the new Eric Young. I don't want to see that shit.
He's gonna be the new Nikki Cross.
He gonna be the new Nicholas from from WrestleMania a couple years back. Like, bro, like, I don't know, but he was originally named in there, but he clarified. But of course, longtime referee Drake Wuertz, he's had a reputation following him for quite a bit.
I was always a big fan of his work, and then just to find out in the last 2 months he's been a piece of shit.
I'm sure you guys probably read some of the same stuff I did, but just like clarification for those that watch the show, they said no less than 10 talents, no less than 10 that went up to upper management, complaining about him. And some of the stuff that they would say is they don't feel safe around him. And I'm like, these are athletes saying that, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm wondering what he's doing to make them feel uncomfortable. I do know that around the time, and I think we all heard about this other thing too, is obviously when the Black Lives Matter thing was, I mean, it's always a thing, but when it was like an actual like focus of last year, Triple H had like that speech he gave to the NXT roster, basically saying like, we welcome anyone of all colors, walks of life, what they say? I think he said, sexual orientation. And then they said religion.
And religion.
So yeah, when he said religion, Drake like made it a point to like grab his bags and storm out because he's like real big on the Christianity thing, right? Is that what it is?
I would assume.
I don't know, because he recently posted, or not recently, but within the last year, he posted something.
Yeah, he's been real.
His own. Yeah, and it was about vaccines and COVID and stuff like that.
He's a little.
I think religion played a part in it. I don't remember the video. I probably should have done more research before this.
Well, I know from looking at his timeline a few times in the past, because I've heard some things, he's definitely like stepped it up, intensified, I should say it's the best word, his stance on religion. But even more so, which I'm not against, you know what I'm saying? Do what makes you happy, but he's coming at it from a way where he's like looking down on other people that say like anything different from what he's saying is it doesn't sit right with him. It doesn't fit in within his morals. So therefore you're disqualified or he's just disregarding whatever you got to say. But the other thing is, I know that, and this is a stupid ass move. He was on a Zoom call for I think he lives in Florida. It was like for a school district teacher parent meeting or whatever the fuck.
That's maybe what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, because he was there and he was complaining about the mask mandate and saying that what do you say? Child abductors and pedophiles love these masks because it makes it easier for them to take kids. And I'm like, I mean, I'm not saying that's not true, but it was just a weird place. Like, I don't think that was the forum to go so hard in the soapbox for it, especially because the entire time he's on a Zoom call, he's rocking NXT gear. So I'm like, okay, so that's already an L because you're wearing company logo insignia and pushing out your own you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But from what I hear, he was a bit problematic the last coming years pertaining to the roster, so to speak. So
it's weird because I feel like from what the stories have been saying that he was like gearing himself up to be a top management position in the company. But I feel like you could still do that and be an asshole and all the asshole stuff won't come out. But now that all his stuff's going more public, all the asshole stuff's coming out.
Yeah, and he's like,
well, that's stuff you see on Zoom. Well, I'll tell you my own story, you know.
He's like, well, if I'm going down the asshole. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna open Pandora's box. yeah. He's like, Riker, you coming with me? Nah, man, I'm cool. I don't want any trouble. I just got back. Yeah, because like
after the Riker stuff, I'm not gonna give him any credit because he doesn't deserve it. But I haven't heard him say anything, right? Like he's kind of known to shut up and to do the work.
Dude, the biggest clickbait I saw this week actually was someone had posted up on Facebook. You're like, word is this guy's supposed to be getting a major push soon, and it was Riker. I was like, oh god. And that's all I saw was the comments like, you marks fell for this, and I'm like, okay, yeah. I'm glad that I wasn't part of that. Yeah. You know, I was like, come on, man, that don't even make no damn sense.
Keep in mind the good thing about the WWE is even if someone's supposed to get a massive push, it doesn't normally happen.
Yeah, true.
So even if Vince McMahon was like, I like Jackson, like it'll take 3 weeks and then it doesn't happen anymore. So at least like just the WWE system set up for nobody to succeed, like, and that includes someone like Jackson Riker.
Yeah, like or I don't know. See, if it's someone like Jackson Riker who, you know, he paid credit to one of their Hall of Famers in their celebrity wing, you know. So you know, the McMahon family's kind of in pocket with the Trump administration. So he's probably like, all right, on the surface, you're fucked, but back, we're giving you a pat on the back, pal. Like I don't know, like it's weird. Like just
put you with Elias for a bit.
Shut up and keep your head down and don't say shit. So, like I can see that, right? But it's like with Riker, I don't know. I mean, I give him his credit. I didn't think he would be back. Better yet, that he's the only son that's not forgotten at this point. He's the only one. There was 3 of them. Now he's the only one they kept. And it's like, that's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? Very weird. You know, it's just, but
you also have to put in perspective too that I would say most of the other wrestling promotions are a little bit more progressive, or at least on the surface they are. So someone like Jackson Riker might have a tough time finding a job, at least in a bigger promotion, if he were to leave WWE. So he's actually in the best place he can be in right now.
I put it like that. Yeah. If I mean, you remember this guy came from Impact Wrestling as Gunner. So if he can't even get hired at Impact, then just fucking give up, right? Like, I mean,
like he's not gonna go to AEW.
He's gonna be one of these guys like Ryback, like throwing up a pole, and then everyone's going to tell him to retire and shit. Like, oh man, I feel bad for that guy. I liked Ryback, but
like AEW, I was gonna say because like AEW, like they wouldn't take Jackson Riker, and even though like Cody Rhodes' promos recently have been a little bit,
I had to chill. someone asked me about that. A friend of mine who doesn't catch Dynamite all the time, he was like, hey, what's going on with this? Because he saw a Twitter storm going up about like this because it didn't make it any better where Cody tweeted like, oh, it's Pride Month, so you know our last AEW shirt you know, because they did a shirt where all the proceeds went to like a certain charity. He's like, oh yeah, we did really well last year. Let's do it again this year. You guys let us know what charities you want. And then right after that, someone says, oh man, this guy just defeated racism. Now he's trying to defeat hate. Like this guy, I was like, damn, dude, like they are like eating Cody alive, man.
He gives these speeches, it's a little too on the nose. It doesn't feel authentic. It feels like he's trying to say the right things that's gonna make it be the message that he's trying to convey, rather than just saying it. You know what I mean? So it comes off like, I have a bunch of black friends.
Because that's the thing. Like, because the thing is like, while we appreciate the effort, he has to understand that he doesn't represent all walks of life, all situations, and just all types of circumstances. You know, I mean, there's people who he will never feel what other people feel because he's not there, and he won't allow him. He's in a situation financially also that he's not going to allow himself to get, you know, in that situation to be treated a certain way. So it's like. But with your wife, though, from Detroit, though, like, it's just, you know, you would think that she would kind of, you know, put him up on game. But it's just, like everybody.
You're not going to put your husband on blast, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, no, not. I mean, it's just one of those things where I laugh because I'm like, everyone was saying, like, man, so Cody is going to defeat racism with his biracial baby. It's like, geez, like, that's what everybody got from it. I was like, man, like, I mean, well, I understand what he was trying to do, but it didn't, like, get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, I don't like, I had to, like I said, someone asked me about it and they're like, why did he do this promo? And I'm like, oh, you know what? Actually, the context is the fact that the guy he's about to be wrestling has been saying all this disparaging things about Americans. But if you don't even remember that, it just comes out as just like a, hey guys, I'm the American Dream son, and I'm gonna cut this American-esque promo about my heritage, and this is how I'm an intro into being the Dream. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just like, yo, like, but Dusty didn't even have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Dusty was just it. You know, so
what the wrestling business I think has yet to pick up on is, in a way, like being American is the heel thing to do now.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's not like it's not the 80s or 90s.
Even in the movies, bro, like how we're portrayed and shit. Like I was just watching Dark Side of the Ring, and they're covering the collision in Korea, and just hearing back then from the jump, like how they were treated just because they were American. I was like, fuck this, dude. It's like better you than me, Scott Norton. Better you than me. Like, oh man, I
just feel like
we're the devil to a lot of people. For sure.
Yeah, like the American Dream shit, and like I've been very critical of Cody since the AEW start, just because I feel like he doesn't tread the water very well in terms of, or walk that line of like,
I hear you.
Like it's not all about him and all that, right? And these promos and this character all of a sudden seems very like, when he's backstage, he's like, I'm Cody, it's gonna be fine, don't worry about it. Everyone's gonna be fine with it. I'm Cody.
Yeah, it's like you remember, you know my last name, right? Don't even trip, champ. Yeah, it's like
we're good. I'm the American Dream now. We're fine. Don't worry.
It's fine. It's
like, and
when you do
that, I know, seriously. But you know what's funny? I think like am I the only one? Because now that he's talking, you know, we're talking about the biracial baby and all that. I'm like, so is that why you've been leaving Snoop in the theme song? You've been trying to make sure your friends are still jiving with you, Cody.
Come on, guys. We're friends, right? We're cool.
I learned this one from TikTok.
Nobody knows what I'm voting for. Come on, we're good.
Oh, man, I mean. Yeah, I just feel like, and it's funny because he still goes on Twitter and defends the promo, and I'm like, look, I'm not against what you were trying to do, but again, I don't think that's what ended up happening as far as the execution. But
it's just more, it's not authentic. I think that's where we're all at.
Well, it's different when he's
very deep cut for you. It's the difference between you've seen the meme where they're like, this is Captain America, and every time he introduces himself, he's like, I'm Steve Rogers. And then the new guy comes in, and every time he introduces himself, he's like, I'm Captain America. Like, you're trying to force it. Like, just be you, bro, and let your actions build that narrative instead of.
I feel like he was like,
every time you come out.
How would John Cena attack this at tribute?
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just. Because I mean, like him being from Atlanta, Georgia, I'm like not thinking like you're like in the hottest bed of like American Pride, but I mean, I'm thinking about like the those in Decatur, and I'm thinking about Tip, and you know, when I think of ATL, I'm not even thinking about like the upper echelons and all that. But it's like so weird because it's like it's the way he worded it. He made it seem like things weren't as bad as they seem, and that's what I wasn't a fan of.
He's trying to make himself like the beacon of hope. You can't force yourself to be that.
See, and the reason why that is especially now, it's because, and I made this joke before, but didn't realize how serious this was because we used to just crack on this all the time. We would talk about, hey, do you think there's like racist wrestling fans? And we're like, what do you mean? I'm like people who will pay to go to the show, but they will boo the shit out of anyone that's good just because they're not white or they're not this, or you know what I mean? And we would just do this joke, like oh hell, you know, like they would go for the jobbers more than they would go for, you know what I'm saying? But then like after a while, I'm like, no, I mean, a pro wrestler is not going to be the person that's going to, you know what I'm saying? That's going to, nah, man. Like,
I'm sure there's places in the South that are like, hey man, I just don't want to see Jackson Riker take a pin from the New Day today. Like, I'm sure there's people in the South that are like that.
And I feel like there's people. Yeah, you're like, who did he ever be? You're like, do you see the size of this man? Like, what are you talking about?
I don't want to see a main event where some Scottish immigrant versus Bobby Lashley.
He's not even pure.
It's my main event on Raw. That's why the TV ratings are down.
Seriously, it's like, bring back that James Ellsworth. He was more relatable. Like, oh man,
I want to see more Tucker.
I need some Tucker. Where's that corn-fed blue-collar boy? I want some of, yeah, dude.
I like those guys.
I like those guys. Now, I don't like the Mexicools, but I like those guys. Like, yeah, I don't want but you know what? I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up. I think obviously kind of the biggest news, if confirmed, because that's one thing everyone keeps pointing out. Word of Velveteen Dream being released has been spreading like wildfire. What people have been talking about is most of these other releases are usually coincided with the confirmation tweet or a good luck tweet from WWE. There's been none of that with Velveteen. But this is where it's going to get juicy in a bad way. So let's just sound off on it. I mean, I think this is a long time coming, right?
We all were saying like when this first happened, like we could see a release coming soon, and then even when the releases were happening in April, we were all like, "It's odd that Velveteen Dream wasn't one of them."
Yeah, it was.
And
it really. And then just last week we were talking. I think I brought up he was backstage at Raw, so a lot of people thought he was going to be brought up, but I don't know. It's weird.
So, I like I said, I don't know all like. This is tough. I gotta make sure I word this correctly.
I mean, some things he can't run away from. So,
assuming that his record in terms of his social life is clean, I would have assumed that he was like, he's a very good wrestler. WWE would want to keep him, but since he was kept off TV. It was one of those things that were like, they know something that we don't know, probably. And if you think about it,
and when he was on TV, he would take L's. If you notice, he would only take losses when he would be on TV. Yeah,
especially that second half of 2020 when he came back sporadically.
And he had his hand in like a small cast or something. Like it wasn't even like a light cast he had on his arm for a while. Yeah, I remember that.
Because I don't want to say stuff like he's a pervert or anything like that until more concrete comes out.
I got some stuff.
Like okay, then go for it. I'm just saying like, I think he's gonna have a tough time finding a job. He's gonna.
I don't think. I mean, I think anywhere he can potentially go, it's gonna be a black cloud, not just for him that follows, but whatever company I see. Like, because look how you like. There's no one that could hire him that wouldn't feel the wrath of the cancel culture or whatever. You know what I mean? Because when he got released, there's already a lot of people that were coming out saying, oh, "Okay, so he gets released finally." But meanwhile, and you do the swipe left, and it's like this guy wins the IWGP Championship, and it's the whole thing with Will Ospreay, and I'm like. Well, if the promotion recanted and the woman in question, apologized, that's their own business. but at least we see something happening out of that. With this, we just know what we heard, what we saw. I know what I heard. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sorry, that was that nigga's voice on that voice message. I don't know if you ever heard it. That is definitely his voice. And I was horrified. I was saying, I don't know. But in my head, I'm like, no, that's not good. You know what I'm saying? Because I just didn't want it. I didn't want that to be. I was like, why would something this ugly have to be in wrestling? You know what I mean? But it gets uglier, apparently. I didn't know what the ulterior motive was for, the news of him being on Raw. But I did see that this is coming from WrestleVotes. They said that there's been backstage chatter recently that the Raw roster needs some new faces. So I thought maybe that's why he was maybe about to get the promotion to go mainstream. But I guess the two faces that they're looking for, which is dumb because one's already on the roster. They say they heard about Damian Priest getting a big opportunity and possibly Aleister Black being moved over to Raw, but I was like, that's not gonna happen. They just brought him back. So I only bring that up to think that, like I said, maybe they were gonna bring up some NXT names to help out with Raw because it is completely unwatchable.
We haven't seen Adam Cole for a while.
Yeah, that's true. Ever since that poolside interview, right?
Well, the thing is, I feel like there's so much more left to do with Kyle O'Reilly but the thing is, I don't think that's Triple H's call.
No, I don't. But as far as my bad.
Kyle O'Reilly coming out there just like Punk Rock Spider-Man.
But as far as the Velveteen Dream thing, there's some comments. Are you guys familiar with Rob Schomburger?
I've seen his tweets this week. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he is an artist. You probably seen some of his work on the WWE shop, Mac, if you ever been on the shop. He does like these art pieces that are like multicolored, but it'd always be like a scene from like a dope moment in a match or something like that. I think he's done. They've made some shirts with his art before too, but he wrote out of nowhere. Without saying anything further, he was the single most unprofessional person I've encountered in the business. I hope this is the wake-up call he needs to start doing the emotional work to become a better person. All told, is what he said. And then because my brother sent me this because he watches these guys religiously. I can't remember their name, but I know that Baca hates them because they're British. Is it cult? No, not Cultaholic. I forgot.
Wrestle Talk?
Wrestle Talk, yeah, because he hates Wrestle Talk so bad. He says their body is still on dynamite. This is what he always says. But apparently Velveteen had friends very, very high up. So there were issues that some people didn't feel comfortable going to management about because he was close with management. I heard about behavioral issues when he went to NXT. I heard issues when he went other places, whether it be Evolve or whatever. There was a lot going on with Velveteen Dream. And I mean, I shouldn't do this, but I think with the name attached being from Sean Ross Sapp, I think from Fightful that I can have a little bit of truth to this. I mean, he's usually the biggest contributor and credit to a lot of this stuff coming out. But somebody randomly asked him this question. Has the hidden camera phone filming talent in the bathroom story gotten out yet? Or that the talent found the camera phone and less than savory files that were stored on it? He responds, it's going to come out next week if I can get the person who caught it to go on record. This is pertaining to Velveteen Dream.
Is it pertaining to Velveteen Dream?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
This is some Randy Orton shit without being Randy Orton. Like
I forgot about that Randy Orton shit. I read that. I was like, don't be true. Like, I don't need you to be more fucking weird, bro.
Right. It's like you're already guilty. And now
it's all this other shit.
Guilty because you're already in hot water. And you're just gonna throw another.
Yeah, you're already drawing up suspicion, and it's like, how do I make this go away? By starting another fire? Like, what? Like, at what point? I mean, but at the same time, I gotta blame management a little bit, if true. I gotta put that in there. If proven true,
Right.
Because they're making him feel comfortable enough to be able to get away with this shit.
Yeah, because why would it be a thing? Did it come out yet?
Like I feel like he was probably backstage on his Scott Hall shit in WCW, like, oh, you want to mess with us? You know, he probably was like name dropping when people aren't there, getting people scared about shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I feel, you know, especially with the quote I just read, people didn't feel comfortable going to management with certain issues. It's like probably because he made it seem like nothing would be done or that he had him in pocket or something. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, this is like way more problem. If true, this is way more problematic than, you know, I'm not saying him and the other allegations initially are light at all. But if this is where we're at now from last year, like, good God, like what is going on?
Worse. It's getting worse.
Like, you know what I mean? With all the other allegations and stuff like that, like I like to try to keep like this universal idea of like you're innocent until proven guilty kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel it.
But like it doesn't look great. And
it is what it is. Yeah, like it really
and like
it looks like what it looks like, Brian. That's
from what I've heard, I think is that the thing that's like keeping him maybe feeling comfortable, I don't know, whatever, is as far as I know, these videos or these messages and stuff like that have not been turned into the police.
So he's thinking like, man, this is real life Monopoly out in WWE. I'm getting out of jail anytime I want. Like,
but like, I don't know if that ever does happen. I don't know. Like,
I feel like anytime any trouble that comes underneath like one of Triple H's favorites, he just walks into the room, hits him with the Triple H point, and then it's just fixed. You know what I'm saying? Like he just, oh, what? Adam Cole's fucking up? Hold on. Stop fucking up.
It's like, so the WWE said they made an investigation and they said that they didn't find anything incriminating, I guess I'm going to use that word. And then it hasn't been turned into the police, so maybe Velveteen Dream thinks he's in the clear, but I'm assuming like just because it's been good for a few months doesn't mean it's ever in the clear.
See, I wonder when it's, and then now like, all this stuff. I'm wondering though, like how does cops get involved here? Because with the way the story came out, it wasn't like someone went to the police. It was like highly publicized. Is that because something's publicized because someone's talking about it? Is that enough for cops to knock on your door? Or, you know,
I'm assuming someone can look into it. And that's what I assume. I'm assuming like once something comes public, anyone could just pick it up and be like,
well, that's what I'm trying to figure.
Let's investigate this legally.
Okay. Yeah, because
I don't
thinking
know either.
Wouldn't someone have to like come in to actively want to press charges for a specific? I don't know how it works. I really don't. But I'm just I'm thinking possibly maybe police weren't involved. Maybe just some investigators, like real super duper light, low key. I don't know. It's just again we say I say it again. I say it to Pop Mac again, but the evidence, man. You know what I'm saying? The absence of evidence is evidence. Like we have nothing. We don't believe you. We need more people. Like we need something, man. Like, cause y'all didn't even put out a statement. Nothing, man.
That makes it look worse. The further it goes without putting out any type of real information, makes it seem like, okay, they're trying to get their ducks in a row before they say something.
And you know, I think the reason why this hurt, to be honest, so bad, is because the representation. Him being African American and getting a really good spot, being real different, standing out. Like, I watched him get booed the shit out the building, being called Prince at Riverside Municipal, to like, freaking these feuds with Ricochet, these feuds with, the 6-man ladder matches, and just being a marquee guy. And the Vince call me up stuff. And you know what I'm saying? Like, he was doing stuff that nobody was trying to do. And then it's just like, damn, bro, like what, why? Like, why? Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think that's for me, upsetting. I was a big fan. And I think it's because he made me a fan. It wasn't like a bandwagon type shit. Like, I watched him actually like he turned me, you know what I'm saying? Like, into an actual fan. And it's just like, damn, dude, I can't be caught out here sticking up for you, bro. Like,
that's it, man. You gotta, I root for the truth. You know what I'm saying? So whatever the truth is, I just hope that eventually comes out so that we can act accordingly. But until then, you can't rock with them because you know what I mean.
It's a liability, low key. Yeah.
It looks too bad.
But you know, I'm gonna move on.
At the end of the day, he was he was a headache after a while, and he's been a headache for almost a year now. And it's surprising that I took this long because I feel like there's people who are probably less headaches in that company that are still looking for work. Did you guys? That he was a head, I think there was this idea that he was eventually going to be this star, and they were like, let's not just give him away just in case this all becomes bullshit. But
I could see that.
The more and more it became less bullshit. You know, it was just like, oh well, all right. Let's just
hasn't been on TV.
He's not even on TV anymore.
Yeah, and they don't have live. They don't have live events going right now. They come back July 16th. Worth noting. But when you think about it, without totally burying him, just taking him off TV where no one remembers him, which is the best case scenario for him and their product. Yeah, I mean, that's how you devalue a guy before they're going to get rid of him, aside from him taking a lot of L's, which they also had him do before he disappeared. But I don't know. It's crazy. Like, how long from now you think we get a Dark Side of the Ring episode season with Velveteen Dream and all that finally coming out? You know what I mean? Like,
he's extremely young too. Like I think got his push when he was like 21 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. And so he's probably at the most now 22, 23. And he has, in my opinion, 2 decades to figure himself out and still get another shot. If for whatever reason, none of this stuff, like if this stuff stays, like if he stays clean and this stuff turns out that it was not true, which we'll see. I don't know. He has about 2 decades. He's 25 right now. He has about 2 decades to figure his shit out. You know, like a good solid decade to get another push somewhere else or come out or be clean or something like that. And then another decade maybe to get back to this point again. But like Enzo's doing his best, and Enzo's rep was just that he was an annoying guy who was accused of something he didn't do. So if Enzo's having this, in my opinion, having a tough time, Velveteen Dream's going to have an even tougher time.
I feel it too. I think the only thing that this is the little bit, again, if it's true, a little bit of remorse I have left for him is, and I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead, but similar situations have arose in the past with some very celebrated names, and they were able to come back and be universally loved when they passed away. That was Pat Patterson. If y'all do the research, there was the whole Ring Boy scandal thing back in the 80s. There is a lot of information there, and a lot of people, they would freaking shit on me for even bringing it up. I'm like, bro, where's all this information coming from then, bro? Like, people got paid off. People don't get paid off for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't take settlements for no reason. You know what I mean? And I'm not that highly educated in the freaking court system and how things go, but it's like, dude, I watched enough Law and Order to know what shit's going down. You know what I mean? But it's, long story short, he had a situation that made the company look really bad. People actually sued, and again, settlements happen, all that shit. But then he went on to have this flourishing career behind the scenes as well. I mean, he was one of the stooges, on screen, but he ended up having a great career with WWE backstage as a one of the greatest agents they had. Inventor of the Royal Rumble, a bunch of shit, right? But I don't see that I don't see the same result for Velveteen.
Nah.
If he does his best,
different time.
If he does his, and that's the thing, is like different time on 2 different levels. Yeah. I feel like, unfortunately, because of his color, that's gonna hold a higher hesitation towards any type of forgiveness. But also the toleration level is ridiculously lower than it was back then. I think there's still some things that were shocks back then that aren't as much shocks now, but in terms of like how people react to it, yeah, it's a little bit different now. And I don't see, especially that the social media, oh God, imagine there was social media, there'd be cancel culture way earlier than this, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I don't know. I feel bad, but I really hope. I mean, I don't feel bad. I feel sad for the situation. So much potential, just kind of wasted.
I was a huge fan. Fan.
You know, and I was
he was
telling
low
Mac,
key
like,
probably my favorite NXT wrestler after like Ty Dillinger left.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, when Ty left, I'm like, I need another Rock. I was like,
when Ty left, I was like, I can't watch this.
I don't fuck with any of these guys.
you
sure as hell ain't Kalisto.
Not a Ty Dillinger fan. I was not. I missed it at all.
I was like, I'm not. There's no one here who's a perfect 10. So I need
But yeah, I don't know. Like I was telling Mac, I was like, I liked Velveteen because he worked hard for me to not just jump on the bandwagon, but watch him put in the work and become a fan. You know what I mean? And
I remember him being Patrick Clark wearing the United States ass tights, getting squashed for a year and a half, and then eventually becoming the Velveteen Dream.
You want to know what's funny about that gimmick, by the way, is back then when he wore the USA tights, it's because he's billed from Capitol Hill, but also because he was trying out a pro Donald Trump gimmick at the time. And supposedly he stole from Brian Cage, because Brian Cage put him on blast for a couple years ago. And I'm like, Brian, no one looks at you and thinks you're political. I'm sorry. Like, no one is looking at you.
First of all, no one looks at you and thinks anything.
First of all, no one looks at you. They look at your wife. No, no. Yeah, it was just what, yeah. But fuck, dude. But you know what?
Imagine like going up to Jackson. Was Jackson Recker? Jackson Recker wasn't around back then, I don't think. I was like, imagine just like, hey, yo, hitting up Gunner.
What
hey,
up,
man? I need some tips. You got any things that I could use for my gimmick?
I did have these tights.
He's like,
oh man, he's like, man, I had these tights that they because you know I got these quads they want me to show off. Baby, do you want to wear them? Like, yeah, just some dumb shit. I'm gonna move on to some I guess some better news, quote unquote. I don't know. There's been talk supposedly that AEW will be introducing trios championships very soon.
I heard about
this.
I don't think so either. But when you think about how many tag teams they keep fucking adding, what do they got, like 20 tag teams now?
That's a lot of tag teams.
They got tag teams.
And everyone's in a faction. So
yeah, I was gonna say there's so many factions though. Like there's everything, the Pinnacle, the Elite.
That's gonna spread everything, because now you have a bunch of tag teams already, and then like you said, you have a bunch of factions, and most of those factions have a duo in them that are like the tag team guys, right?
Unless you're Dark Order and you have 3 tag teams.
And
you got like three tag teams and like 1 cult. Like that's what y'all got. Like it's crazy.
So now every faction has to have tag team guys and a trio guys. So now every faction has to have like 6 people.
Like 5 dudes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And one for the main title. You're right. Yeah,
you got to have a main title guy, a mid card guy, 2 guys for tag, and then 3 guys for trio. You need like 7 dudes, bro. For every team.
I could see maybe like FTR and like Sean Spears trying to go for those trios championships, possibly.
Yeah, you're only gonna have like you're gonna have way too many factions and teams, or you're not gonna have enough. It's gonna be very hard to balance it out.
I think they'll be okay in terms of how many people they have, but while I think it gives certain people things to do, I think it might help if they featured it only on like a certain show, to help gain more viewership. Like, yeah, whether it's gonna be Rampage, Elevation, or whatever the fuck, Dark Elevation, I don't know what the fuck.
They got the wildest names, dog. Like,
yeah,
dude. Next joint gonna be like Jurassic Park. Like, what are we doing,
bro? I ain't gonna lie. I didn't mind Rampage. I was like, why couldn't it have been Rampage instead of Dynamite? You know what I'm saying? But I was like, you know, whatever. I was like, this is a better name than that. That's cool. At least
it goes from 90s video games.
Word, bro. Shit, yeah. It's gonna be like AEW presents Frogger. Like it's gonna be it's gonna be like they're gonna be fighting in the middle of a road, and then they gotta at the same time try to run out of traffic and shit.
Mortal Kombat with the C.
Oh, there you go. Combat is coming. Something they gotta add like a little fucking tagline on it. I'm not against it. Again, I just think my biggest thing is they have too many titles and not all of them theirs. They got the NWA Women's Championship being defended on their show more times than their own championship being defended on the show. It's just like
the little wristwatch title.
Yeah, man, it's a little, you know, and not even a real wristwatch. One of them 50 Cent joints you get out of the crank machine, bro. Like you just slap on and shit. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. And I always just in my head just thought that they should have never introduced a women's title if they were just gonna, you know, showcase the NWA one, because like to be honest,
I don't think they thought that far ahead. I thought they thought their women's division was.
They were like, our women's division is gonna be. It's gonna be Joshi.
It wasn't dope.
It's gonna be Joshi the fuck out. Don't even trip, dog. We got talent for days. But do they?
Everyone wants to see this shit.
It's like, but do they speak English and connect with the American crowd? So you might want to call NWA. Actually, I don't. You know, you still got the number. You know, I got Nick Aldis's number. Maybe he can hit me. I don't know. There's like, I don't know.
I do think single-handedly Thunder Rosa is like the glue that keeps this women's division interesting. And I don't even know if she's still technically signed to NWA, right?
Yeah, but I think she signed to both. I don't know. I mean, you would think so because they keep putting out the story like, oh, she wants to get her title back and then win the AEW Women's title. So, like, if you're not even part of the company, then why even, you know, go for the championship that you can't even represent anyways? So I don't know. It's like, go ahead.
This Brian Cage match with Hangman.
Cage Page.
Is that for the FTW championship?
I don't think so, but I was saying, like,
why the fuck is that championship on TV?
It's never defended. I don't even think that there's even been a match for it. Like, I don't think
it's canon, huh? It's not canon.
I don't think so. Like, it's like when the Young Bucks were walking around with, they had the ROH, the IWGP tag champs, and then they had their own super kick, like Young Buck championships that were like nobody. They just like added a third belt just because they wanted to. And I was like, oh, okay, well, it doesn't make you triple champion. It just still makes you double champ. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, whatever. You know, I don't get to walk into Raw with the money in the replica Money in the Bank suitcase,
right?
And cash in on Bobby. I mean, I know I wouldn't win, but you know, for the pop and for the replay value, I definitely take one of them spine busters on the mat for the flow show.
Yeah, anybody could go buy the big gold belt off of the network. You know, because it's not in rotation anymore. It's mine now. Like, no, it's not how that works.
And if not, if that is how it works, then keep your eyes open, because we like this is gonna be like some 24/7 type of shit. Like, yeah, but yeah, I don't know. As far as the trio stuff, a year ago, if you would have asked me, I wouldn't mind it, because I'm thinking right away, triangle or death triangle. I'm thinking when they were still together, the Elite with Kenny, the Young Bucks. I guess now they still could, you know, with the fact that they're still rolling together. I'm thinking like Matt Hardy and Private Party back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some guys that are together where you can see
it. Is that all this is? Is that all this is? Are they going to introduce it so Kenny and the Bucks can take it so Kenny can have another belt?
Shit.
It's just a long way to get him another piece of gold.
I would guess it would be the Good Brothers that would get it. Him and Kenny and the Good Brothers.
Kenny and the Good Brothers. You know what? I can see that being interpromotional tag championship.
The only thing that I would have an issue though with that is, like, Kenny Omega's probably going to do one match a night. So if you were to do a Kenny Omega pay-per-view where he's defending the main title, then the trios championships are not going to be on TV on the card.
Yeah.
No, yeah, he's not going to have, like. Well, I think Seth Rollins was the only one that did that one time, right? He had the U.S. title match, and then he had the world title match right after. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could see that
being a trios championship, and it doesn't involve the New Day being it, then I don't want it.
That's true. or at least, like, I mean, and that's why I was saying interpromotional, because I was thinking they may get more of a buzz off of it if it's something that can be defended in different places. Like, I can easily see 3 guys being put together in like Impact to go against whoever wins them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, pretty much any promotion that has 3 guys that are either similar or they have some sort of bond or something that ties them together for the sake of having a 3-on-3 match. I mean, I don't see it really not being a benefit because again, it gives people something to do, you know. But is it gonna make a difference? Or is this gonna make people want to tune in? You know what I'm saying?
I like the idea of the trios championships. I'm not gonna lie. I do believe though, AEW has a faction problem.
Yeah,
and the faction problem is not going to be cured by the trios titles.
If anything, you're gonna have more alliances formed to try to get gold.
And it's
easier,
bullshit.
right?
All these alliances are just fucking horseshit. Like Cody Rhodes would be better off not having the Nightmare Factory, not having all this shit, not having all this stuff going on.
So are you saying that the Gun Club and Billy Gunn are made for these trio championships? Is that what you just said?
Yes, I said exactly that.
I was like, those are the three we want, right?
Also, like Death Triangle, as much as I think they're all dope wrestlers, the Lucha Bros should just be the Lucha Bros.
I agree.
And like that's what makes I think Moxley so interesting is that he was always just by himself when all this shit was going on. Now he's with Kingston.
Yeah, there's very few people that are lone wolves right now, right? Like even Hangman, like I'm already sick of him hanging out with Dark Order. Like I'm like I need to see something different. Yeah. Bro. Like, but yeah, I mean, my only issue with the trios championships, I think that it's just coming too early. Whenever they're supposed, they said it's very soon. So if they're going to show up, you know, whatever, it ain't my business. But if it's me, I would wait until the rest of my titles are like solidified and legit. You know what I'm saying? Before I'm just like, oh, we can just introduce any title. I'm like, yeah, but you got the FTW title still just sitting there, like he said. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah.
So what matters and what doesn't matter? You know what I mean? But
first of all, like I keep forgetting who's the women's champion.
Dude, by the way, shout out to Britt Baker because I don't know if you saw like I don't know if you collect. Obviously, I'm a collector. I had to get that new Jake Hager finally because I was the last person out of the inner circle that they were releasing. But they just the fifth wave of the AW figures came out, and it features Hikaru Shida with the title. And Britt Baker retweeted. She's like, I think you guys may want to pull the titles from these before you send them out because it's like a pre-order, so it ain't gonna be out till like maybe 2 or 3 months. And I was like, yeah, because you better not retain, bro. Like Hikaru, we over you. We're done. Experience.
She's dope too. She is, but perfect,
yeah, they ruined her.
She is the perfect, like when you have established stars, like face value stars, she is the perfect one to be the babyface challenger and eventually get some wins, have some title reigns and stuff like that. But she's not like, as much as I think she is probably the best wrestler in the division, they haven't booked her to be the best wrestler in the division. So I mean, we care more as fans about what's going on with Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, and all this. And this isn't really in the title picture, or was in the title picture for months. And now it's like I get that you're building two storylines, but focus on the championship and make it prestigious in some kind of way. And just having her have a long ass reign, is not doing it. Like have her have some peaks and valleys and stuff like that.
Well, she
build her character a little bit.
The way
more.
They've been booking her is like, I don't take anything away from her ability, but I feel like they've been booking her as if she has no storytelling abilities. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. She gets feuds, but she's not really
these stories. Like,
yeah, man.
The last one was like they had to like, I'm not saying fabricate a story, but they had to like make up this, not make it up. They had to go back to this historical stuff. I forgot who she wrestled.
Was it Sakura? Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And they were like, they have history and stuff like that. But you told us that in a promo before the pay-per-view.
Yeah. As opposed, you know what? Like they used to do those like road to whatever, like road to Full Gear, road to Dublin. They used to have these like really well produced, like build up videos that would give you a little bit more context and a little bit more story behind this stuff that, because they only have so much time on TV. So, hit or miss, or executions hit or miss. Like sometimes you don't hit all the points that they need you to hit on a weekly basis. So I would watch these things to help me get a little bit more hyped or a little bit more invested in some of the stuff they had going on. I haven't been like that in a bit. Even the Double or Nothing card right now, I'm kind of whatever. I was actually contemplating going out there to try to make the show. I'm glad that I'm not. And to be honest, I'm kind of saving my dough for this SummerSlam. I don't know if you guys heard, they're supposed to be hitting Vegas, supposedly.
Vegas.
Oh, is that right?
Dude, bro, they're trying to go to the Raiders Stadium and hit 60,000.
I'm already on location.
Bro, I was in my head, I was like, you know how much money I'm saving just driving there already? I'm like, I'm like, yo, I'll pay for the parking gladly. That's what's up. Like, I don't. I'm like, it's better. Wait, I'm paying for parking is less expensive than paying for the Uber to and from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not tripping on it. I think I'm gonna go. You know, but and fuck it, let's mob on them. They'd be like, damn, who that whole crew of do-rags just walking by? Them the wave guys. Oh shit. The wave guys. He's like, oh, even Baca got a wave. Even Baca got a do-rag on.
And I just have like a Hawaiian shirt on.
No, you got
that's my contribution to the wave gods.
You got the Hawaiian do-rag to match. You got to match. You got to coordinate. You got to coordinate.
But don't even tie it. Just let it hang. You know what I'm saying?
But then, you know, you got to also advertise for Lucy's IG page at the same time. So you probably have a Lucy, you know, some merch on.
Passing out cards.
Yep. You got it, man. You know, all I really had left, man. I just want to read you this quote that I had from Roman Reigns. And I wanted to see how y'all felt. Agree or disagree?
To the chief.
Let me see. Let me find it first. Because I think that I posted it. I think I posted it. Oh, no, I got it in my screenshots. But he was basically talking about, you know, what is going on right now between Raw, SmackDown, and...
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, man. Hold on. Is this it?
See where I stand.
Yeah, I mean, because okay, so hold on. Okay, he says we got a bunch of fast food fans and they complain that they want stories and well thought out stories to develop. When you start doing that for them, they want it all now. My people, I'm cooking a steak. We're creating an elaborate omelet and we're in the process of cracking eggs right now. You're not going to get it quite yet. We're going to let the steak stay on the grill. If you want your cheeseburger, watch Raw. SmackDown, we do filet mignon.
Damn right.
Hell to the chief.
See, so like that's how I felt, right? I posted, I said agree or disagree, right? And I had two people. I had really a really good take on it on the disagree side, and then I had an entirely like a little bit of conspiracy, I should say, because I ain't gonna lie, this conspiracy thing was low key in the back of my mind a little bit, but I was like, nah, that's way too. I'm giving him way too much credit. But this guy, shout out to CA Claiborne, he's always usually on my posts and stuff like that. But he put disagree. He said WWE stars, especially ones who the company favors, will never admit that they are the glaring flaws in their storytelling. You wrestling the same guy over and over and over isn't quote unquote long-term storytelling. It's just boring and lazy booking. Raw and SmackDown are cheeseburgers. WWE doesn't have fast food fans. They have fast food content. Anything that ever goes wrong is always our fault. Like the fact, this is what he says, this robotic Samoan couldn't get over as a babyface. It wasn't him that was the problem. It wasn't the booking. It was the fans. They didn't like him because they were jealous of him or because of Daniel Bryan or whatever narrative they wanted to spin at the time, but they couldn't have anything to do with him being just generic as fuck, terrible on the mic, wrestling formulaic matches, constantly winning, and never being allowed to have actual rivals because he just dominates everyone. But it's the fans. I think there's a little truth in that, but I don't think it's all on Roman.
Yeah, that was true 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think in the 20
stinking up the place.
Even beyond, I was gonna say even like in the 2015, like when he was like doing the, I would say around that time, like, but yeah, I mean,
but today,
what's funny is like I get what he's saying about the fast food content versus fast food fans, because I feel like that's kind of more accurate too, because they hot shot a lot of shit just to get to the end of it instead of just like, well, maybe we should just nip this in the bud and go a different direction. Like, nah, bro, like not everything needs to have a conclusion. Like, let me give you a great example. The big ass spider from Eric Rowan. Like, Y'all could have just not even showed it.
Bro, that was terrible.
Yeah.
Or just have Drew McIntyre smash the thing, and then we don't know what was in there.
Yeah, especially they were building. They were building him up towards the Royal Rumble that year too, while that was going on, right? So
remember, he was actually a babyface when that happened.
Yeah,
he killed a little small pet and on TV. He big boss man that shit.
Yeah, he did. See, the only he just didn't feed it to him. That's the only thing he didn't do. Oh man. The other take on it, which was the conspiracy part of it, and this is what, like I said, I've had this in the back of my head for a little bit, but real small, like 2% volume of a voice. Could they be purposely tanking Raw to get everyone, like, to push the audience and viewership towards Roman? Like, someone thinks that they've been like purposely, and that's what I think too. I'm like, whereas, are they capable of doing something like that? Yeah. Would they? There's a lot of factors that leads me to believe no, but with USA being a long time, partner of theirs in terms of getting their show syndicated and all that, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think a good Raw is going to bring more eyes to SmackDown. It's at the beginning of the week. Let's just say you enjoyed Raw. You want to see more of this WWE product, you're going to watch SmackDown. Like, it is what it is. Like, if you're feeling some good wrestling vibes, if anything, Raw makes you feel like, you know what? I don't need to watch SmackDown. And the only thing that keeps it, if anything, Roman Reigns there is good points of SmackDown that are not Roman Reigns. So that's still much better than Raw, but you can make the case that even SmackDown for the most part is cheeseburger shit. Roman and maybe Bianca Belair make it better. But that's
you know what though? Like what you said before, like if Raw is good, by the time Friday comes around, you're just like whatever about it. I've been like that for a while, like before now. Like that's how my attitude was with SmackDown for a bit. I would forget it would be on. When I catch it, it'd be an hour into the show, and then 9 times out of 10 it'd be something I wasn't really particularly interested in, but I would still flip back and forth to see like the guys I like. But now it's like I'll barely catch, I work both days, Monday and Fridays. Difference is I'll read what happened on Raw and figure out what I need to watch beforehand. But with SmackDown, I'll watch it. You know what I'm saying? So and to be honest, it's because of the booking they've been doing with Roman. Like Roman's a big part of that. I'm intrigued with the Uso stuff. I'm intrigued with Bianca, even though I wanted to move past Bailey by now. They have a lot more stuff that you're actually invested in. The Aleister Black stuff actually is picking up now. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I told them to do that.
Yeah, you did. I was gonna say we were no. See, what we said was like, yo, screw all these like vignettes. Just pop up and kick someone's head off. Yeah. I remember we were talking about that because I think we were saying, was it that's what we said. We said how we have him come up with the most heat, have him no one would even think of him. They would think immediately of Jey Uso. Have him pop up in Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns on that SmackDown. Have him cost Daniel Bryan. They cut the check.
The reason why I like the way they have the Roman situation going, because it was just Roman versus Cesaro with the Jimmy and Jay, but then you throw in the Jimmy and Jay dynamic, and then you throw in the Seth dynamic. So this story is opening up and unfolding in a bunch of different ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it really is.
Whereas it's not just like one shot that you watch on Raw, and if it's not somebody that you rock with, then you really don't care. Because like even when it's
especially when it's 3 hours, bro, and it's like the good moments are few and far between. It's like, fuck, dude, how do I navigate?
What Raw does is in hour 2, and about 15 minutes in the hour 2, when they tell me what the main event is gonna be, and I realize it's gonna be like a 6-man tag, I'm out of there. Like I'm not sticking around.
Yeah. This is what's gonna make me stick around for the next 2? Nah. Like I'm not. Yeah.
Well, the cool thing with the Roman thing too right now is, in terms of the long-term booking, is like, for example, like on Raw, I feel like those feuds end and then they still continue for like 3 more months. Like it's like they finished the feud. They even said, hey, that's it. And then all of a sudden they're like, you know what? We don't have anything else, so we're going to continue it for 3 months. On SmackDown, the closest we got to that was probably the Kevin Owens stuff, right? But even then, every match was very good. But the cool thing about the Roman Reigns thing is they're establishing this character that he's almost like OCD. You know, everything needs to be perfect. He has this vision of what the family is.
Yeah.
When Jey Uso gets a little bit nuts, he gets frustrated. He's very calm, but then he gets angry very quickly. And then there's on the side, they're not doing it directly yet. You have this very impulsive Seth Rollins. Just like fucking being manic, wearing colorful suits. He's kind of being like the Riddler, the Joker kind of thing.
Yo, by the way, I was telling my brother, like, Seth got the easiest gig right now because all he does is show up in some dripped out suit and attack someone and go home.
Yeah,
like that's all he's been doing.
And eventually, it's going to get to the point where Seth, the architect, versus the tribal chief. And it's funny because he's not like the architect in terms of like what he used to be the architect, but he's now the architect as this manic fucking, he's gonna play it cool. And then when Roman Reigns starts being fucking assholey about being the tribal chief, Seth Rollins is not going to be as patient either. And I don't know if that's a SummerSlam build or they're going to wait even longer, which I don't mind if they wait as long as they want. But that's Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and it's gonna feel like it's heel versus heel, and heel versus heel doesn't always work.
That's what the only thing I was gonna say is the only reason I see him not pulling trigger on that is just because of the fact that they're thinking there's no one to cheer for. You know what I mean? And it's just like that's not always what it's about. Sometimes it's just about the match, man. Like
the good storytelling, the match.
The history's already built in, right? Like I mean,
the fans, there's gonna be fans there that are going to be like either I'm really into the Seth Rollins character and I think Seth Rollins has the ability to take it off Roman and I'm getting bored of Roman, so I wanted to see that. And there's going to be fans that are like, no, I really like this Roman thing and I want to have him hold the championship for 100 years. I don't want to see Seth. There's more to wrestling than just like I want to see the good guy or bad guy win.
And then let the crowd kind of dictate how that goes as you start to bring people back into these shows and we start to drip this story in.
That's my because they're gonna have to get used to the fact that because that's been my only issue with the Thunderdome shit is the way they've been producing, manufacturing the crowd noise, the crowd cheers, the boos, and I'm like, and I'm like, because I always said like, you know, when they had like a few, I forgot what the capacity was for Mania, but I was like, watch, Roman's gonna get cheered. You know, and I'm like, they're gonna want him to get booed, and he's not gonna get booed. People are gonna like what he did. But even then, I feel like they mixed the live sound with a lot of the same shit. You know, and I was just like, like, you know, but I can see with SummerSlam that would be a good matchup. To be honest, I mean, and when you think about it, who else is there? Because that's my only fear of SmackDown right now is, well, while I'm intrigued by the many I guess prongs of this pitchfork of a story with Roman, Jay and Jimmy, Jay and Roman, and then Seth is kind of doing shit with Cesaro, who's still got some beef. Like, my only concern is it's gonna involve too many people where now those people are taken out of the normal shuffle to be able to be a face or a threat to either Roman or whatever. Kind of like what, you know, people have been saying, like with Orton being in a tag team and AJ being in a tag team. You're like, you took two big names from like the contender list. But you know what I mean?
My counter to that would be, look at the Intercontinental situation right now. They just had a fatal 4-way and it was tight. You know what I'm saying? So
it was.
And then you brought back the Jimmy and Jay dynamic. They are a tag team. And so even if they are dysfunctional, they got them going against the Street Profits, and Jay don't want to really do it, and Jimmy's really excited.
Yo, so you think you're gonna leave Jimmy at the altar on that one, bro?
I don't know. I don't know, but I think I'm happy that I don't know. I'm happy that I don't know.
I kind of hope that Jimmy starts the match by himself, like Jay just doesn't come out, and then at the end when Jimmy's getting his ass kicked and he's going for a hot tag, Jay does come out, and it just pisses fucking Roman Reigns off.
Yeah.
because I was wondering which way they were gonna go with that. Because I was like, in my head, I was like, yo, Jay, why don't you just at least stake your like ask permission to speak if that's how it's gonna go? And like,
oh my God.
I'm just saying, Oos, like, you doing your thing, like, wouldn't it make the kingdom stronger if like we was holding down the tag scene, like something, right? But they don't even give him that, and I'm like, oh man, he just gotta take this hug, Oos. Yeah, get this Roman.
And I think Roman's character right now is basically saying like, I don't want you getting fucking tied up in this tag championship bullshit. You need to worry about my championship and what's going on with this. Like,
I see. And I could see that if he thinks it's gonna bring on more distractions, because now he has to worry about himself as opposed to dedicating all his energy to his cousin. Okay, I can rock with that. Yeah, I mean, you know, they just got to explain it to me. They got to break it down a little bit, but yeah.
I know I'm doing too much, but I want them to take it all. I want them to take it all the way, because Naomi was on Twitter, like, get him, Cesaro, like. Cesaro. She was on Twitter like, get him, Cesaro, and then she put hashtag I said what I said, because she rocking with her husband, right? But she's also in a tag team with Lana, who they could put them in a match against Nia, and Nia could take the side of Roman, like, yo, don't disrespect him, like, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Women's division having a storyline. You're taking too far.
But no, but what's crazy about that is like, it's easy enough to just be like, hey, just because you're married to James or Jimmy, you're like, I know you're supposed to be family, but you're going against the family. Like, you have to respect.
Don't concern you.
See, but that's the only thing is they like. You would think that he would have been employing Nia to be a part of his kingdom or whatever he wants to call it, like his reign as this chief. You would have thought that. I mean, I think I said it as a joke before, like she should have been on some, I'm the tribal queen or type stuff or something, right? But then I guess that would have been, you know, some beef between her and Tamina. Like,
it's technically a Raw act, though.
Yeah, that's true.
And imagine she's like, hey, I want to bring Reginald, and then Roman's like, all right, no, I'm okay, never mind.
She is a damn dude. She spent so much more time on SmackDown than like it's.
But that's because they have those tag belts.
Well, technically speaking, they weren't supposed to be on SmackDown this week. They are a Raw act, and they don't have the championships. They shouldn't be floating.
Yeah, you're right.
They have to stay on Raw, and the women's champions need to go to them.
I mean, unless Is the division, maybe the entire women's tag division is on?
No, that's horseshit.
Shows, but of course, because we gotta make the. We're the ones who gotta make it.
Why are we making the rules?
Yeah, why we gotta make it make sense? Yeah. Like, if this ain't up to us, you know, we shouldn't have be covering your ass, man. Like, what's going on, man? Man, but yeah, I ain't gonna lie though. Yeah, Raw. I thought SmackDown was good.
Raw wasn't the worst I've seen it.
Oh,
like it's
okay.
Bad.
So
it's not the worst I've seen it.
I got to bring one last thing up, and I can't believe I almost forgot this. So the zombies, the zombies. So why that happened is because the guy that produced the movie or directed, I don't know, he paid WWE 7 figures.
7 figures.
7 figures for that cross promotion, including the zombies. And I get it. So, you know, if someone's gonna pay me 7 figures to promote something,
what else do you want?
Yeah, right. But for me, I'm like, I know neither Miz, neither Priest saw any of them 7 figures. The fact that it's gonna affect their match. The fact that
basically a throwaway. Like, nobody's gonna call back to that.
The fact that Damian Priest gets his first pay-per-view singles match, not in the shadow of Bad Bunny, and they got to be with some fucking zombies. Like,
it was.
They don't benefit nobody.
All right, so first I'm going to throw this out there. I'm going to be very positive real quick, and I'm just going to do it real quick.
You go.
Hey, the enjoyment of watching wrestling is that sometimes it's just fucking ass, and it's enjoyable to watch how ass wrestling is, and that was total ass.
Yeah.
I give him credit to keep on the positivity. The makeup was on point, but it's fucking zombies. Bad. It's fucking zombies.
B, if we're gonna take anything from this, and I know it's not something you want Damian Priest to be remembered for, But if he just had a singles match with Miz on that card, no one's going to talk about it or bring it back up again, right? But he was part of the most ass match on that card. That when people think about that pay-per-view, they think about the Roman match, the triple threat match, and probably the Zombies match.
You're not lying.
Priest won that match. So now Damian Priest has 2, although it's not because of him, it's more so because of other stuff. 2 of the most recognizable matches in the last 2 months in terms of wrestling.
True. Because like the way my brother was like, he said, I think he got it from Wrestle Talk there, because I brought up, I'm like, man, this is like different from like when they brought the Zombie on when they tried to redo ECW, right? I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yeah.
And it was like their first night of the new ECW, and then they had Sandman going against a fucking Zombie, caned the shit out of him in like minutes. But I was laughing about it because I was like, what is this? And he's like, oh, actually, Russell Talk was like, man, whoever says that WWE is not a fan of long story booking, I was like, yo, don't even try to tell me that this guy is like, oh yeah, he walked from the ECW arena, got a couple friends with him on the way. It took him a while because he had to walk. He's walking so slow. And I was like, then he had to figure out what the fuck a pandemic was, because he's already dead. He don't know what that means. He don't know what Thunderdome means. He don't know. He was
fighting the LED screens trying to figure out why they weren't
turning. Better luck tomorrow, guys. I don't know.
Like, no, what they should have did, they should have, wasn't it Morrison who fell over and he got took away or whatever?
Yeah.
So he should have came back on Raw with like one white eye. And they like, what's wrong with you, bro? He's like, I'm fine. But like
it's turning.
Maybe like bite marks on his neck. Like, oh, not some vampire shit.
Progressively getting more dead, like for 2 weeks, just to have some fun with it. Like, if we're gonna do it, let's do it. Like, don't
if they're gonna
throw it away.
If they're gonna do it, dude, they should have brought him when Shayna hit the main roster and bit that chunk out of Becky's neck.
I was there that night.
I was there too. I was like, I remember I was in the crowd. We were like, what the fuck was that? Everyone was just quiet. We're like,
yeah,
okay. So this is okay.
So my beef with the zombie match was the zombies played by the rules.
Zombies don't play rules.
They just surrounded the ring and was like, all right. And then they went to the ring after the match. After Miz got pinned, they're like, okay, now
lumberjacks, guys. We're lumberjacks.
Yeah, we're lumberjacks first, zombies second. Know the rules. and it would have been a lot cooler if sometimes individually one of them or somebody would walk into the ring, and then Damian Priest would have to like kick him out of the ring or something.
Like
zombies. You don't know
Damian has Miz in the corner, and then one's like reaching for Miz. He's like, get away from me. Like, I could see something like that where it's like
we're zombies, not monsters. Have some class.
Have some class, y'all.
Have you guys ever seen What We Do in the Shadows? There's
no, but I know what you mean.
So they're in the movie version, which is it's really funny. They come across these werewolves, and then one of the werewolves cusses, and he's like, "Hey, we're werewolves, not swearwolves." And I was just picturing you saying that we're zombies, but we're not monsters.
It's like, oh, come on, man. We may be dead, but we're not cold-hearted. Come on, like it's like, oh, okay.
We're zombies, not
we respect the ring. All right,
does that make them zobbers?
We respect. They're fucking the people who respect the ring the most is FTR and these zombies. I would probably say, because I've never seen so many people respect the rules so much in my life.
Imagine all the zombies wiping their boots off before they get in,
bro. like no lie to them, because of how close to the rules they stuck. They would have got heat from the tag teams in AEW, right? Hey, why?
I was getting nervous that they're going to throw wrestlers back in the ring. Yeah, at least we didn't see that.
Can you imagine if they would
close my eyes,
like showing them picking them up slowly and like, come on, man, pat on the back and just throw them back in there? Like, what is going on, man? But yeah, I don't know. I can't. I mean, your point is valid though. We do remember the zombies. We remember the Bad Bunny match. I mean, it is what it is.
We'll see what happens.
But you know,
I want to see Damian Priest be at least half as successful, which on Raw that could get you a WWE Championship match. So
he's gonna be a zombie king now. He's gonna walk out with like a horde behind him.
Oh, you know what? I that's one thing I did like from SmackDown too was Shinsuke. He came down with the crown. I'm a huge fan of Rick Buggs. He has been on NXT for the longest. So okay, I'm glad I'm not the only person that knows about him. I've been noticing him in this Old Spice commercials. Of course, my brother he's like, wait, that's him? I'm like, yeah, you could totally tell that's him. He's like, oh yeah.
What's like his full name? Bugenhagen or something?
Yeah, Bugenhagen. Yeah, because I remember I forgot who he went against, but when he hit that high note, I was like, yo, there's something about this guy. I don't know why I like this guy. I just I
like him a lot.
So when I saw that he got this spot, I was like, oh hell fuck. And then to see that Pat McAfee was putting him over too, like low key, I was like, this is cool. This is real cool.
Wasn't there a story though that like the air guitar shit, someone backstage was just like, I didn't understand it, I didn't get it, and that's why like he didn't get a push after that? Because there was like a lot of there was a lot of internet like love for that shit, and then like he had like one match like 2 weeks later on NXT, and we didn't see him again.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that. It's weird because I thought after a while, I think he changed his IG handle too, and I thought that maybe he was gone, but he changed it because
I thought he got released actually.
Yeah, I thought he
wasn't
did.
He one of the releases at one point last year or this year?
I don't know, because when I went to check, I guess he changed his name because he was being like he was a sponsored athlete for like a what's it called, like nutritional shit. I forgot what the fuck like shit for lifting weights and shit. I forgot.
Pre-workout or something.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, that makes sense why he would change his name, his IG name to better fit that if he's going to be possibly taking on more sponsorships and stuff. But yeah, I mean, seeing him in the Old Spice commercials and then seeing him with the guitar, which is crazy when you said the air guitar stuff, because you look at Kyle O'Reilly, who did it for like how long after with the belt, and it's like that was everybody's favorite thing about the entrance was air guitar Kyle. So it's like, all right, man, like. That's trash. That's just trash. But
let my boy be great, man.
I know. But, one thing I got to give one last credit to is Aleister Black, because the smallest detail meant a lot to me, and you didn't tell, and I understand why now. He always had those shades on. I always used to like, oh yeah, I like Aviator Aleister. I'm digging it. I didn't realize he was hiding that eye. Long-term storytelling right there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought it was just part of his new character. I totally forgot he lost an eye.
Well, see, that's the thing. When I didn't remember until when he showed up, his other eye he had like the Kane gimmick with the white pupil.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So like,
he's still gonna try to get revenge then on.
Well, see, that's why I was like, well, I understand why you be heel. I mean, last time you were mad about, you came in like Solid Snake going after Kevin Owens at the time, but like. You've been gone, you know what I mean? So it's like he's like somebody locked me in the room, so I couldn't come knocking. Like what
the WWE could have done is just let him have his eye be fine, and we all would have not given a shit. So
yeah.
Like, I mean, real like. I'm glad that they did it, but that was also such a shit storyline that it would have been nice for them to forget that too.
I mean, the fact that they actually had because not to go back to the zombie, because this is an off comment I said to my brother. I'm like, it's funny how what was it like 30 years ago or something like that? They just brought it up earlier this week. It was the somewhat year anniversary of the curtain call, right?
Mm.
It's crazy to think back then. The amount of people that were like, oh, they ruined the business, they disrespected the business, you put the business back like this many years, and then we fast forward and we got fucking zombies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's like, well, which is it, man? Like there's room for
or is it one mic
for sports entertainment, or there's room for movie magic, but then it's like man, like it's I don't know, it's crazy. But
I'm kind of hoping when we get fans back, a lot of this magic shit.
Yeah.
Because so
like Alexa Bliss is in trouble, bro. They ain't gonna be able to do her shit no more.
I was gonna say, so there's levels to this. Like, for example,
she is the main reason I don't watch Raw, by the way. I'm not gonna lie.
Some wrestlers that are so fucking boring that I'm just like, every time they're on the screen, I'm just like,
yeah,
it's Elias and Baron Corbin to me. They're just all the time. I see them on my screen.
I mind
love Baron moveset, but he's
like the only reason why I didn't mind Baron right now is because I like what they're doing with him and Shinsuke with the King stuff. that has me intrigued just because I haven't seen him wear a crown since New Japan. So it's kind of exciting to see that. But yeah, I mean, I used to like Elias a lot, man. When he was he wasn't even the rock star. He was what
he was the lone wolf.
They called him something. He had like a whole thing where
Drifter.
The Drifter. I was gonna call him the Stalker for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah, he would just. I remember when he first showed up on Raw, he would just walk through the crowd. Everyone's like, "What?" And I'm like, I would mark out like, "Yo."
One of my favorite moments too, and I don't remember what he called himself, was when he got basically released from NXT because he lost a match. And he came back for one more match in a mask. And like
it was
he was like El
Vagabondo. It was El Vagabondo.
Like
I always, oh man, thanks for taking me back. That was great.
Yeah, and I was like, and then I'm not gonna lie, I was like not feeling Elias before then when he was the Drifter, but when he did that, I was like, that's dope. I like the plug that Mac Lowe has right now. But getting to your point, Alexa Bliss fucking sucks. Like there's certain things on wrestling I watch and there's like they're boring, and then there's certain things I watch and I'm like, that just legitimately sucks. And I felt like
it's just the
Alexa
insult
Bliss
to my
and all that
shit. It's like, look, like I can only sustain an amount of fantasy and believability on my end as a fan, but I'm not gonna sit here and believe that this doll is freaking laughing. And you got her laughing on the loudspeakers inside the arena. Like, nah, bro.
And it's only one laugh. Play like multiple laughs.
But it's just, for me, it's like,
it's like Alexa Bliss to the laugh, and then you're like, that's good.
One laugh.
Yeah. No, but
we got to write this Roman Reigns stuff. So if you could just fucking do one laugh real quick.
But it's funny because you say that, but it's like, if you did, it would, I don't know, possibly make me think that it's not just the same laugh track, and this is actually
one track. Somebody pushing the button over and over. It's the same
because
track.
that's the thing too. It's like you got like a couple Mondays ago, she like showed up in the middle of like the 6-man tag, and then she supposedly like did something with Shayna's leg where she couldn't move her leg and all this other weird shit. And then people were saying that, and I didn't watch this. Or I didn't see this when I saw it, but the triple threat match for the women's Raw Women's Championship at Backlash, people were saying like, well, Charlotte pretty much booted. Yeah, she booted Asuka into like the riptide, but then like kind of just stood there and didn't stop the pin. And everybody was like, oh, that's because Alexa. They were like she had her power over her, so she couldn't win. I'm like, don't do that. Don't start.
And just email WWE real quick.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that means because I'm like, if that's where we're going now, that means anyone who doesn't kick out of a small package is like, oh, Alexa didn't want him to win, so she couldn't lift the shoulder up. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's gonna be like, you know, I don't like that. That's lazy.
This is where I stand on this too, and I think this is where I think the most confusing aspect of all this is. We could get into the whole fucking supernatural shit with her and the Fiend, right? It was a lot better when it was more of a psychological Firefly Funhouse thing.
Yeah.
But now it's becoming the supernatural bullshit stuff. But she's now no longer with the Fiend, and the Fiend, or I'm not gonna say the Fiend, I guess Bray Wyatt, because maybe she is still involved with the Fiend somehow. But eventually Bray Wyatt's going to come back. And if he doesn't address this and he just does his own thing, and then Alexa's still doing her own thing, but they're using the same graphics and songs and shit, it's going to be really fucking annoying. So you would think Bray Wyatt needs to approach this situation with her. But what's going to happen is the Fiend just going to have a fucking squash match with fucking Alexa Bliss?
I don't.
Like, what's going to fucking happen?
The only thing I could see happen is if she's going to pick somebody to represent her in that fight and control him on some weird shit. But I don't know, man. But then again, yeah, she ain't been in the ring with Randy Orton, right? Like she challenged him to a match and shit. So I don't. The thing with Bray though is,
and that match sucked.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that Baca got that fucking right. I was so fucking pissed, dude. I was like, seriously, dude. Like, this is for reals. But one thing about Bray is I don't know if he's gonna be back anytime soon. Because I guess the one and done for Mania, you know, it was just for Mania because they say he's going through mental issues right now. A lot of it doing obviously with Luke Harper passing away. I think there's some other stuff there too, but yeah, I guess he's like going through it, man. And supposedly when he came back, Vince was not pleased, quote unquote, with his size. I'm like, so does that mean you gotta make him disappear like you did Keith Lee? Because we don't know where the fuck this guy's at. Like,
where's Keith, bro?
Where is
I thought he was gonna accept the challenge too on Monday, but
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't mad that it was Kofi, but I didn't realize that he had already had a match earlier tonight either.
Oh, yeah.
So whatever, dude. They're trying.
Dude, first of all, if we're doing an AEW ranking system on Raw, Kofi Kingston pinned Randy Orton and Bobby Lashley the same night.
Yeah,
he deserves a title match, and a legit one. And I think it would be a really interesting like B-level pay-per-view if they did Hell in a Cell, Kofi versus Bobby in the Hell in a Cell.
Well, that's not what's gonna happen because from what I
know
read, it's gonna be him and Drew again to culminate. Because Hell in a Cell is where you go to culminate these feuds, and it's like, bro, there's only one long-standing program that's been going on, and it's okay, but it's because you guys have been booking them around each other for like a month and a half. No one wants to see. Drew needs to move on, because if you don't have a move on, the people are going to turn on him, and it may already be too late.
I don't want to see Cuz. For
real. For real. If I see you, it's on site. But no, for real though, it's just like, bro, like y'all don't, and I know me and Brian talked about this before. It's like they'll never be able to create stars, bro, if they don't create stars, bro. Like, why are you using the same toys? You need to mix it up, man. You never know what you got if you don't. I mean, it's already bad they don't give a lot of people a lot of leeway like they used to. But it's like you'll never know. I mean, they'll know now come July when the crowd is there and they'll figure out the crowd response for different people. Hopefully.
It's going to be some shit.
Yeah, 100%. I wouldn't doubt that people are going to be booing the shit out of Alexa. They may have to make her shit just strictly backstage.
That's a fact.
Oh, they're gonna boo the fuck out of her, and it's not gonna be oh, she's a heel. It's go away heat.
Yeah, 100%.
And like they're gonna probably think, oh, it's working.
That's what they. I mean, it's funny because the only person that they've done that with that actually was like semi-true, and they rode the wave and long enough for it to be true, is Baron Corbin. He got a lot of go away heat back when he was like the GM.
Yeah,
but he used it. He was able to transform it into actual like heat. I don't mind watching him work. I don't like watching him win, but it's he's pretty good in terms of who they got on the roster. I'm not against them having him, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be different, and honestly, I'm hoping for a good thing in terms of the booking, because it's like they kind of got way too used to booking in front of no audience that they've booked themselves into a few shoots here. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, oh, wait, if we're going back on freaking tour, then how are we going to be able to play this out when we can't do cuts like we used to do and all this other crap, man? So it's going to be interesting. Can you imagine if the crowd came back?
I'm not going to lie.
I was just going to say, you imagine when the crowd came back during when Randy Orton was getting shot in the face with fireballs and shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't even, that week they would end it. Like, it wouldn't even.
I'm glad. And maybe they did this on purpose, that they moved Hell in a Cell to when there's no fans. I actually like that idea because I think Hell in a Cell is actually a really shitty, probably pay-per-view to have in front of fans. You can't see anything. You can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
And
I was asking my brother about that because I was like, when we went to War Games, it was kind of like that, but you had I think because it was a bigger structure, you had more to see. Whereas with the Hell in a Cell, I'm like, dude, you're probably buying tickets just to see what you could have watched way better on TV, right? Yeah. So it's like, but I guess they switched it because they think that they're going to get more people willing to pay for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, is what I was told. So
you got to build a good Money in the Bank match. You start putting people in that match that no one wants to see win that shit.
As long as it's not like what they did last year. I was so hot about that shit. Like I get excited for Money in the Bank. So when I saw that they went the theatrical route, I was like, why? And why is Rey Mysterio still living after he got thrown off the building? You know what I mean? Like,
well, there's a small
Rey
roof
Mysterio should have still been dead, and he should have been one of the zombies that came back.
That shit would have been funny. And then that way, then you could have Dominic just doing all his shit without his, it's weird to see you having to come down to hug your dad. It's just the whole.
He got him on his back like a.
He did it. Yeah, bro. It's. Oh man, yeah. So it's the Flow Show.
We'll be back next week to talk about stuff we don't like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you guys got anything else y'all wanted to bring up?
Nah, man, I'm just here. I'm saying with.
Well, I feel you. She making sure it's us. She making sure she don't girl voices. I see. Hey, don't be looking at me like that, Bianca. I'm on your side. Calm down. Yeah, it's been a Flow Show, man. Be sure to check out us every week. We're on YouTube. We do the YouTube thing. We're also on the Young Baca Productions podcast network. And yeah, you can get the audio or video. Feel free to follow us on social media. That's Flow Wrestling Show and Flow Wrestling Pod on Twitter as well. Feel free to follow Mac Low as well as Brian Andrew _. And definitely check out the Ash Podcast, Awkward Side Hug. Whether tasting beer is your thing, whether hearing funny ass stories while people are trying to get their graduation on, whether you guys are just talking shit in the intro and you guys use it as a clip, I'm telling you, these guys are 100% entertaining. You're gonna want to have a beer with these guys for real. So go and check out the Awkward Side Hug, man.
Very nice.
Yeah,
that's very nice. We're about to let a lot of people down. I appreciate it.
Oh no, I talked them up. I talked them into the building. Now you gotta deliver. But this has been the Flow Show, man. Young Baca. We're gonna start putting some missing posters up for you, man. I thought you always telling us how proud of a black podcast this was. We'd get your words on the Velveteen Dream thing.
I would make the argument it's more black now that Baca's not here.
That's true. It's very true.
Also, I find it interesting that he always has shows on Saturdays or something like that when he's probably known that for weeks ahead of time.
Yes,
but we always find out Friday night.
Well, it's only when I ask. if I don't bring it up, I imagine, and I look at what time I hit because I get off work because they change our schedule, so I'm like I get off way later, like 9-10 at night. So that's why I'm like, oh, let me hit these guys up before I'm going straight home, right? And then oh, well, you know what, guys? That's why I was like, oh, damn, I got this whale watching trip, bro. I can't even, can't move nothing around, man. I can't, man. These orcas, bro. It's these orcas, man. But shout out to Young Baca, man. Feel free to follow him and the Young Baca Productions as well. They got a few shows going down every weekend as well. If you're an artist and want to get involved in, you either got like a $2,000 giveaway or contest, I have to say. You ain't giving it away. They got all kind of shows on the beach in freaking Reseda. They got a lot of stuff going on, man. Don't take my word for it. As you can see, there's a freaking drastic change in between how I bigged up the Ash podcast and the Young Baca show. So pick and choose. The choice is yours, but definitely pick us every Saturday, man. This is what we do. For the love of wrestling, it's been the Flow Show. Peace.